Welcome back, everyone. Am I audible properly? Those who are joining online, now also voice is low. How about now? Is it clear now? Now, is it clear? Done. Done. वॉइस नहीं आ रहा। वॉइस नहीं आ रहा, वॉइस प्रॉब्लम है। Now am I audible properly, guys? Audible properly or not? Okay, fine. So yesterday we discussed about microservices architecture, and today we are going to see that how the communication between microservices is going to be, and how we will build something related to microservices. Building a microservices project. So when we are trying to build a microservices project, it requires a configuration, and those configurations are going to be very easy, by the way, not too much difficult. At the top of the level, let's say we are going to build a e-commerce app, or e-commerce will be, I think, will be too big, and we don't have enough time to build a now one more full stack project. So smaller means we can build a quiz app. So just think of this quiz app. What we are going to do, at first we will have our first Spring application. First Spring app. So we will be having first app, and as we are only working with Java technology, so obviously it is going to be a Maven based Java Spring Boot project. The work of this project will be very simple. The work of this project will be very simple, as it is only going to show the questions. So what is this? This is a question service. So this microservice will show all the question to the user. Whosoever want to use the app, it will only display the questions to the user. Only questions. One Spring application will show only questions. So you can have a URL here, that at the rate of get mapping slash all questions, like that you can have a URL where it will post all the questions with their options. Option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4, like that. Okay. So like that it will show. The next application, there will be second application, and that we can call as second app, that we can call as second app. Now this second app is like so fine. What it will do, it will take the question from first app, show to user, record the user response. User will answer the questions. So at first microservice is called question service. Second microservice, you can say that this is your quiz service. What is this? This is your quiz service. This is your quiz service, which will be taking the quiz. But how they are going to talk to each other? There will be some method of that, because this is different application in Eclipse or in your laptop. This is different project. How they will talk? So at the top, we have a server that is called Eureka server, built by Netflix. So Netflix Eureka server. At the top, we have a Netflix Eureka server where both of these app will register themselves as a service. They will go to this Netflix Eureka and they will say that register me as a, this microservice will say register me as a service. Of course there is some code for it. So the first app will say register me as a service. Whatever service, controller, code, whatever it is giving, it will be registered as a service. Now, second one will also say that I am also one of the microservice. So register me also. The same way, right? The same way this is also going to be registered. Now, the quiz service will say that I am not sending any data to you. I just want to use the questions. Because question service, we can understand that it will send the questions. What quiz service will send? Nothing. It will show to user. So here this question service will register only, and this quiz service will discover other services. Yesterday I have told you those 2 points: service registry and service discovery. Remember? Service registry and service discovery. So here we have these two components of Eureka server, and this application where we will be running the Eureka server is a different application. This is also going to be a Spring application only. This is not a cloud or login ID, nothing. What is this? This is also going to be a Spring Boot app. This is also going to be a Spring Boot app where these two different Spring Boot app will register and discover them. So like that, they are going to be used here. So this is like very basic thing you can say that we are going to use here. Okay. So let's try to build the things. Though the first thing that you have to build is the Eureka server. Someone who is using the Eureka server. So if we check it on Spring's website, you just search here Netflix Eureka. Go to the Spring's official website and check it. So here you will say the first is service discovery, how to enable it, how to register. So it will already tell you the things that how you can use. Here you will see application.yml, right? So let's understand uh, Srikar's question. What is YML? If I have a Spring Boot app and I want to provide configuration details of database, where I will provide Srikar in a Spring app, Srikar. I have a Spring Boot app. I want to provide the database configurations, where I will provide in which file. Yes, sir. Service? क्या बोल रहे हो? Spring dot data source driver class name कहाँ लिखते हैं ये सब? Where do we write all these things? pom.xml. Application dot properties. So whenever we are providing the configuration details, we provide them in application.properties. And if I have to provide, let's say driver class name, so it will become spring dot data source dot driver class name connection URL, like that other things. Same way, you can also write the things in YML format. Application, your file name can be application.yml. However, it is the old method when we were creating the project manually. When we were creating the project manually, then we were creating these kind of files. So it is actually YAML, not completely YML, it is YAML. Here, YML means yet another markup language. Yet another markup language. And what is the role of this? These kinds of files are used to provide configuration details. Configuration details of any application. And what is the difference? Hardly no difference. Properties will be same, just writing way will change. How the writing way will change? In application.properties. If I am providing I want to change the port number of my application. How I will type server dot port equals to 8081. Like this I will type server dot port equals to 8081. Simple like this I will type. But in application.yml, in application.yml, if I have to write the same thing, then server will become a tag kind of thing like this. Then server port colon, then its value like this. That's why we don't use application.yml. It's like extra configurations, every single thing. Now there are only three lines. If you want to type driver class name, same way you have to type. So you will type spring dot data source dot driver underscore class name like that. So you have to type it on the indentation. That is YML. However, we can also work with simple application.properties only. Just don't worry about it. Then here, if you go to the website, how to include Eureka client, it will tell that add this starter, register with Eureka, provide the properties, provide the default zone, authenticate with Eureka server, type the status. That's it. If you want, you can add the health check also. But health check is like different one. It is when I'm running on an active server. So at first, let's understand how can we create an application and register other services there. So at first, we need a parent Netflix server app. Our first requirement is creating parent Spring app for Eureka server. That is our first need here, that we have to create a parent Spring app. Spring Boot we are using, so Spring Boot app for Eureka server. So it's going to be like very simple. Create a Spring Starter project by adding the dependency of Spring Web and Eureka server. Eureka server. So what I will do, I'll go to the website. You can use your Eclipse also. There is no problem. So I will go to the official website, that is start.spring.io, to create the application. Our project will be using Maven, language will be Java, Spring Boot version 3.5.3, which is the latest one. Group ID is com.server, project is com.server, app name is Eureka server, packaging at ZAR Java 21. We are not going to deploy it. If you want to deploy on Railway, then use 17. Add the dependencies. So first dependency is of Spring Web. Second dependency is of Eureka server, this one. Okay. You will get two, Eureka Discovery Client and one as Eureka server. So you add Eureka server and just generate it. So here we got the Eureka server. We will just extract it here. Okay, we'll open Eclipse now and load our project. So we will load our project now. to- You can create here also, no problem. So here we got our application, that is Eureka server application. Now this is going to be our parent application, which is going to accept all the service and register them. After creating this particular part, you don't have to do too much configuration. Annotate the main class with at the rate of enable Eureka server. That's it. You don't have to do anything else, right? What I have to do, enable Eureka server, because you have added the dependency there. So at the rate of enable Eureka server, okay? Enable Eureka server. That's it. That is what you need to do, and start your application. Run the app as a Spring Boot app. So you will see then when we are running the project, there are some problem and some part is working fine. So that you have to understand here, that how we are getting error and how it is running fine. It's a continuous process. Application is started and Eureka server is running. Here it is hitting error on HTTP URL connector, this, that, like that we are getting. Default port is 8080. If we are trying to hit the same port number, that is localhost 8080, what we got here? Spring Eureka automatically without doing anything else. So here you are connected to a cloud by just adding one starter. Now this cloud will host all your services. Here what we have to notice is it is running on localhost 8080, which is the default port for our Spring applications, right? You will see that here no instance is available. Total available memory is 87 MB. Number of CPUs, 4 CPU are working. And like that, we are hitting the things. This is the IP address. This is the status. Status doesn't mean UP. It is up and down status. So the first thing that it is running on localhost 8080. We will not run it on 8080. The reason for the same is when we are running our main application, let's say question service or quiz service, at that time they will also run around 8080. So you can give a default different server for it. Let's say server dot port equals to 8761, which you can say used in companies also for discovering the Eureka cloud. So here I have changed the server port. I'll just restart the application. So here our application is starting this time, and again there are some of the errors. I'll tell you why we are getting these errors. But before that we will hit localhost 8080, and which is not running now because we have changed it to 8761. And I will hit, if you are not getting it by writing 8761, attach slash Eureka also. That is the home page and you have to write mapping for it. I'll tell you. So this is what we are getting, that this application's runtime is 1 minute, 1 second, threshold is one. So you will get these things in that way. Now you will see why we are getting the error. This error, and after that, this one connection refused, get socket. And this is some warning. And discovery client means whatever errors that we are getting is because of Spring's Eureka only. The reason is, if you are not telling it that who is this, it will try to register itself as a service. So go to application.properties and tell that you are not a service. You are not a service. So I will say eureka.client dot register with Eureka false. That you are not a client to register yourself. No, you are not. Eureka.client.register hyphen with hyphen Eureka false. You are not a client. Second thing is Eureka.client.fetch registry. This is also false. That you will not fetch others. You are the parent. Others will fetch you. So these two things we have to make false. After making these two things as false, close the server and restart the application. And whenever Spring application is started this time, it is running without any error because this became a parent this time. Updated port to 8761, Eureka application started in 8 second, 2 second, like that. Simple it is telling without any error, because we are telling this application that boss, you are the parent. You don't have to register yourself. You are not trying to fetch someone else. Others will fetch you. So this is what we have done. Now if we'll go there and hit 8761 again, same thing we are getting. There is no instance available. Instance means there is no service running here. Okay. Now this is our cloud, you can say Eureka cloud, where we will register other services. So let's generate one more project. So this time also we'll generate a project same way. Maven Java 3.5.3 project group ID will be com.question, because this will be a question service. Question service. Question service like this. And as these questions will be saved in a database, so add all the dependencies that are required. Spring Web, Spring Data JPA, MySQL driver, Lombok, and dev tools you can add so that we don't have to refresh. And Eureka Discovery Client, not Eureka Server. This is client now, right? What is this? Discovery Client, that it will try to use other services. It is not the main server. All these we are adding from so long. I am just adding Eureka Discovery Client here. So simple. Generate the project and we'll go and extract the project. This one. In Eclipse, we'll load the same project that is running, right? I will not close this one. I will just load another project. So for that, downloads, question service, you can create here also, right? No problem. So here we have loaded. We will check our cloud if cloud is working or not. So yes, it is exactly working, there is no problem. Now we will create the second application, right? What we will do, we will create the second application, that is your question service, this one. Now it will also have the same thing, same properties. So at first I will provide the informations to it. What kind of information? Server dot port equals to 8081, because we have two different, means one that is running 8761, this one I will run at 8081, second app I will run at 8082. You can run any server. Now we need a database, so we'll go to MySQL and root. Here I will create a database, quiz db. Okay, so quiz db is created. Now we will add the configuration, that is spring dot data source dot driver class name com dot com dot mysql dot cj dot jdbc dot driver. Then we'll add spring dot data source dot url jdbc colon mysql colon double forward slash localhost colon 3306 slash quiz db. And you can provide spring dot, you can use hibernate ddl auto, and you can make it to update spring dot jpa dot show sql true. Okay, so like very basic properties I have provided here. Okay, got it? Very basic. Now what we are going to do is, at first let's create a question entity. So we will go and create a new package dot entity. Here I'll just create a new class, that is question class. We will mark it as with entity. Each question will have a private string ID. Each question will have private string question. Then it will have private string option 1. The same way it will be having 4 different options: option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4. Each question will have a correct answer also, private string answer, right? As we are using Lombok, so I will just write at the rate of data here. Okay, that's it. So here we have prepared one entity class. Now for this entity, I will also prepare repo. So go and create a new package as repo. Inside this, we will create the interface. All these things we have done multiple times, so I hope there is no problem. This repo will extend the JPA repository. Class name is question. ID is in string. You can import the things here. Control Shift O, imported question service entity. Okay, done. Right. And I will create a controller package also here. Right. I'll create one controller package. In controller package, we will create one class. That class is going to be your home controller, and the home controller will be annotated as REST controller. Okay. And here it will have a method, public string test method, and it will accept the request that are coming from /test. If the requests are coming from /test, it will accept. And what it will do after taking that request? Returning that question service is working fine. Okay. So simple application, simple thing, just save all the corresponding files. Now, what I want is when this question app is running, it is not an independent application, first of all. What it is? It is a dependent application which has to register itself somewhere. Where? Localhost 8761, because our application is running, right? Eureka may be incorrect. Ignore it, no problem. So here, now I have to do some of the configurations. What configuration? All these are already written. Port 8081. I will register this as a service. For that same thing, I will do Eureka dot client dot service URL. That what is the service URL? In service URL, we will provide a default zone to it. Now, if we want to learn about this default zone, go back to the Spring website. You have to read it completely. There, wait. This one. So you can learn what is this default zone, and in default zone you have to give the link where your cloud is working. Eureka.client.service URL dot default zone, and then you have to provide the link where your Eureka server is working. So here Eureka.client.service URL dot default zone. Now it's very simple. Wherever Eureka is working, http colon double forward slash localhost colon 8761, and in that you have to register on slash Eureka. This is how our Eureka is running. Registered replicas. It will be registered here on this link. So we will just provide that particular URL. After giving that URL, here we will try to run the main app. This one is already running, by the way. I will start this application as a Spring Boot app. There are some errors. Are we writing any wrong thing? Yeah. Username and password we are not providing. So we will provide the details. Okay. Again, we'll question class. Okay, this is our primary key. This was also the error. Okay, fine. So again, we will restart the application. And this time table has been created, connection has been obtained, and after that also it is doing lot of things. Now what we will do is we will go to our local host 8081 slash test. It is giving us that question service is working fine, like this. It's working fine. If we refresh the Eureka, we got something here. Are we getting something here? Yes. So you will see that this is your Eureka and there's this lot of things. Scroll down. Instances currently registered with Eureka. Question service. It is available on this link 8081 and currently it is running. Currently it is running. So like that, our first service has been registered successfully here. Now what will happen? Question service will give the data to this one. If I click on this, you will see that it is saying something as actuator. Now what is this actuator? So I'll provide you information about that. We are using Spring Boot Dev Tools, right? What is that Dev Tools? What is done by Dev Tools? Dev Tools is a starter, right? We don't have to refresh or restart the app. Same way we have actuator. What we have? Same way we have actuator also. And how this actuator actually works, just a simple line. Um, Now this actuator will, you can say it will provide you the communication detail of other microservices and their internal details, logs like that. I'll tell you properly. So how to do this now? So just very simple. In my project, I will go to pom.xml file. Once I'm in pom.xml, there will be option for adding the starters. Wait, so here I'll click on this, let it get load first. And we will add the starter of actuator. Spring Boot actuator. I'll click on this, just click on next, and that's it. Okay. Once after doing that, Spring Boot actuator we got as a starter here. And our application will restart this time. and application has been restarted. What will be the effect of actuator? So let's first check localhost 8081 with the test URL. Question service is working fine, which is running on port number 8081. You can also check localhost 8761, which is working fine, no problem. And currently here it is running question service. So when we are adding the actuator thing, let's check the logs of Spring here. You will see that here it is trying to register the things that registered instance on this particular local host with the status up, replication as false, missing entry, like that. It is showing you a lot of things here. Now we will just use our MySQL and I will add one value here. So use QuizDB. Here we have one table, right? That is question table. If we check the description of question table, it looks like this: ID, answer, option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4, and then at last question. So I will insert into question values. At first question ID I will provide, and everything is in string only. So ID means Q1, then answer. We will just ask the capital of India. So answer is New Delhi. You can have any question like, then four options we will show. We will write Hyderabad as option 1, Mumbai as option 2, Chennai as option 3, and New Delhi as option 4. And then we have to type the question. So question is, what is the capital of India? Sorry, New Delhi. See, Srikar sir is saying that is answer. Let me handle, sir. I should work out from the class then now. Srikar, first one is the answer. Second one is the option. So data has been added successfully. Select asterisk from question. And like this we are getting just what we will try to do here is in the question repo already we have. So in home question repo, I will annotate with at the rate of repository like this. Now I will go to home controller. Here I will create one more controller, that is get mapping slash all hyphen questions slash all hyphen question, and it will return a list of question. What it will return? A list of question. Get questions method name you can keep, and it will return. For returning we should auto wire the question repo here. So auto wired private question repo QR like this. And here what we will return? We can simply return QR dot find all. That's it. QR dot find all means we are returning a list of questions. So simple, like that we are doing. So here our application will restart. So here our application has been restarted. We'll go and check all the running ports. At first test URL running fine. Eureka running fine. Here I will also hit localhost 8081 slash all hyphen questions, and what we got is JSON data format. ID is Q1, question is what is the capital of India, option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4, and then at last answer. So here this service is registered with Eureka Cloud. Now there will be one different Spring application which will only conduct the quiz. For that we will develop one more project, Java, Maven, and group ID is going to be com.quiz. Package is com.quiz. Quiz service and Spring Web, Spring Client means Eureka Discovery Client, and actuator, or leave actuator here. We'll use it later. Spring Web, Eureka Discovery, and we'll just generate the project. Now let's suppose you have a front end. What you are having? You have a front end. So this question service will provide the questions, and this quiz service will conduct the questions. So let's understand how we are going to do it. At first, we'll just extract it and load it inside Spring. We'll remove all these files not needed now. So question repo means we'll save it. So you can load that project as well. Quiz service. So here project has been loaded successfully. That is quiz service, this one. Now in this project, we'll not do too much thing. We'll go to application.properties. At first I will change its port. So that is server.port equals to 8082, because 8761 already busy. Its brother service or sister service is running on 8081, and this will run on 8082. To this also we will provide the registry link, so that is eureka dot client dot service url dot default zone, and here we will provide a default zone to it, and default zone is nothing where your eureka is working. That's it. Eureka. Okay, we'll just save it. After saving, we will run this application also. Don't forget to change the port numbers, because at last you will just end up with errors. It will not work properly if you are not changing the port numbers, because you will start an application It will close the previous one on the same port, then run the new application. So let's try to do it now. So here this quiz service is also registered successfully, and we will try to check it once. By the way, it is running on localhost 8082. If this service is running, we will get white label error page, and that we got means service is running. Check the Eureka now. How many services are available in Eureka? Two different services. Okay. Question service and quiz service. How many services are available here? One is question service and another one is quiz service. Question service is posting the questions and quiz service is posting the uses of questions, or you can say it is getting the questions. After doing this much part, how the communication will be going on? So what happened till now? There is one Eureka server. This is our Eureka server, and in this Eureka server, two different applications are registering themselves as Spring Boot App 1 and Spring Boot App 2. And we have given them a name, that is question service and quiz service, right? We have given them a name as well. One name as question service and another one as quiz service. Now, what is our next requirement? Now, Eureka server has both the service running into it. Now, why we need Eureka server? First of all, if we are able to run 10 microservices on 10 different port number, what is the use of services? Because if you have 10 different port numbers and you have four endpoint in each service, how many URL you have? 40, right? 40 URLs we have, and it can become a problematic thing. Now, whatever communication you need to make, you will make it by using 8761. Now, this is your universal port number. This is the end point, or you can say this is the T point where you will stop and communicate. This is the T point of all the microservices that is running continuously here, right? That is running continuously. That is what service registry is, right? This is called service registry. Both the service are registering themselves. Question service is registering itself and quiz service is registering itself. Now what we need, that the quiz service should be able to find the question service, to find the all the questions. If 10 questions are there, so what we will do in the quiz service, we will build a page where you will take options from the user. User will select, then we'll do. Then we'll give a result to the user. But for that, this quiz service should get the question from somewhere. Now, let's say you are attempting a quiz, right? The question of the quiz will be coming from a service, right? How, in which sorting order, some how they are sorted, or how the pagination or whatever is going on in backend. Quiz service is itself a backend, which is again communicating with another backend, that is question service. So here, how the communication will be? The entire communication will be made by using Eureka server. You can say that it will serve as the parent hub, T hub, or a central place where services will communicate with each other. Registry is simple. You just have to add the port number of where your Eureka is running. Discovery will give the problem, because for that you have to understand what is Fiend client, what is REST template. These two things you should know, or leave REST template, you should know what is Fiend client. Now what is Fiend client? So that is your task for today. You have to go to Spring documentation and learn about Fiend client. Tomorrow I will ask question about it. This one. If it is not available, so you can go to your browser and type Fiend client Spring docs like this, and you will get this Spring Cloud Open Fiend. You have to learn it. Don't give the definition that this is the declarative client. No, don't give the definition. This is a simple paragraph of Fiend. Scroll down till bottom and learn it. What is this? Okay. So tomorrow before you are coming to class, make sure that you have knowledge about Fiend client and how to include the Fiend client, how to enable them, how to write. That is up to me. You just learn what is a Fiend client. Okay. And then we will do the service discovery also. As of now, service registry only going on. As of now, service registry is only going on. These services are not able to do the things. Now, if this is my application which is running currently, this application is showing for which project? Eureka server project. So let's say I'll just make some change here. What I will do, not in this one. We have a question service project which is using DevTools. So I will just make some changes into the application. And you know that whenever I am making any change into this application, Eureka server is running automatically, because whatever changes you are making to the application, it is noting that, right? So see what I did. I made change there. So at first Eureka server's application made the changes, and then after again Eureka server in between question service was running on. So question service was trying to make the change. This is how it works. Now, if I am stopping this, so Eureka server will try to stop first. Wait a minute. And don't forcefully stop any server, otherwise you will lose the data. So here 8761 is not running. We will check the test URL. It is working fine. All questions, it is also fine. 8082, this is also fine. Our local host is not working now. So what we will do, I will close this question service also. So here now we got the quiz service. We'll stop this. And we will stop the question service as well. So we have stopped all the services now, and let's check it once. Not running, obviously. Question service is also not working, and quiz services, all the service has been closed. That is why Microservices are expensive because one project, 10 microservices, 10 different cloud, one extra Eureka cloud where all will communicate. So microservice becomes expensive in this sense. Okay. And this is how we do the service registry. So go to application.properties. If you are using database, then add the those things, port number, and this service URLs default zone you have to write to register themselves as a service to the Eureka servers. Tomorrow we'll understand how can we discover the other services and what is Fin client. At first you have to learn the Fin client, that what it is. Okay, got it? Okay. I think we'll close on Wednesday, not Saturday. We can close before that also, by the way. So let's test your knowledge now. Okay. So there are some of the MCQs. I'll provide you this today, or like tomorrow I'll upload. What is the primary purpose of Spring Boot? Four options are available. What is the right answer? What is the primary purpose of Spring Boot? To simplify Spring application development. Correct answer. Because if you want to develop a Spring application, Spring Boot will make it easy, right? Second question. Which annotation is used to mark a Spring Boot application class? Second option, at the rate of Spring Boot application. What does Spring Boot auto configures do? Yes, what is the answer for this? So prepare for interviews. I'll provide you all these questions. Okay, you can get those. Okay. Tomorrow we'll try to complete this application because now only the service registry is done. We just have to do the service discovery. Okay, so like this, you will have some of the questions. I'll provide you these Now practice. Some of the interview questions are also there, and these are like some of the question you will find. Let's say this one, this request body, response body, request mapping, path variable, request param, RESTful API, difference between SOAP and REST, and all these are interview asked questions, right? How to secure a Spring Boot application using Spring Security? What is the difference between authentication and authorization? How to implement JWT authentication? What is OAuth 2? 2 3 days back we did OAuth 2. Actuator, I'll tell you tomorrow. What is the Spring Boot dev tools? It will automatically refresh. Difference between bean factory and application contents, life cycle of a bean, scope of bean, dependency injection, constructor setters, and all those. And what is auto wired, qualifier, primary annotation, Spring Data JPA, CURD repository, DB repository difference, how to execute native SQL queries, what is transactional, what is transactional, remember or forgot, what is transactional, Srikar, how to implement pagination, what is the role of JDBC template. Most of the question here, what is how to enable course in Spring, how to enable at the rate of cross origin, right? What is the difference between monolithic and microservices architecture? So like that, what is Eureka server, what is API gateway, what is cloud config server, what is strict circuit breaker, next topic. And like most of the questions you will get, like you have discussed them in class, we have learned that topic, right? There are one or two here like pre-authorize that you don't know, because it's like in health check actuator that I'll tell you tomorrow. So like that, get mapping, Spring Boot test I'll told you, enable web security we did in JWT, right? Async, remember asynchronous annotation. We did in data JPA to make the asynchronous call. I gave example to Srikar. Srikar, you have ordered food and our food is coming after 30 minutes. What you will do in that 30 minutes? Went to the door and wait there or do some work. Remember? I remember. I don't forget. So that is async. So like that. I'll provide you this question. If you feel like you can do, otherwise rest is your choice. Okay. Tomorrow we'll do the discovery of services. No, answer is not provided. Search something by yourself. If I have to provide answer in this documentation, then why I am teaching you in class? Remember, think, if I have to provide answer in this document, why do I have to teach you then? I'll give you question and answer here. Just memorize that and clear any spring interview. It doesn't go like this. You have to learn and write it by your own. For MCQs, I think I have provided the right answer. No, here also no answer. You have to figure out by yourself. I have around multiple projects. These all are 60 projects. I'll not give you all these, don't worry. Okay, so rest thing we'll do tomorrow. Fine, guys, let's connect again tomorrow.